Yo, what's going on, guys? Rodeo here from MacKite. So today we're going to do a quick comparison of the Ocean Rodeo stick shift bar versus the Duotone click bar. And these bars, they're super similar in the concept, but they do have some pretty significant differences in their design. And there was a few things that I noticed on the water that really stood out between the two of them. So I'm just going to break it down with the Ocean Rodeo bar because I have it with me, and we'll just cover some of the differences. So obviously, first things first, with the trim system on the click bar, they have a winder right here that you twist to power up and a button that you click to depower the kite. Now with this, you can twist this mechanism here to power the kite up, and then you just nudge it with your hand to depower the kite. So some other things that really pop on the bars is the Ocean Rodeo bar. It's a bit bulkier. They have a bigger grip, which is really plush and soft on the hands on the water while using this. My first take was that this was going to be kind of a clunky bar, and once I got out there, didn't even notice it. Didn't even remember that I was using a special bar of any kind, which is a good thing. It was the click bar, also soft on the hands, but it's a smaller grip, smaller bar, kind of a more streamlined design. Now, one thing that really did stand out was the coated center line. So with Duotone, they have that automatic unswiveling feature on their bar, and they have a rectangular coated center line. Now with this one does not have that automatic unswiveling feature because it is just a standard rounded line. But one thing that we did notice with the click bar is sometimes while you're turning the kite and sheeting at the same time, because it does have that rectangular shape to activate that system, it can bind a little bit and you kind of get stuck just a bit while sheeting, while turning the kite. That's not going to happen. You have really wide opening here to allow this to move back and forth, so no issues there whatsoever on this. One con I would say with the Ocean Rodeo bar is it does require you do have to flush the bar out before every use, so it looks like some sand can get in there, so maybe it's not quite as refined in that regard. Some other little details that I did notice is the chicken loop. So with your flag line here, Duotone, they do actually have a little system that secures this into the chicken loop so that this will stay locked in, which for most people it doesn't matter, but if you're somebody who does like to run a suicided loop and have this ring locked in like we have it right here, that's a really nice benefit that Duotone does offer. But for most people it doesn't matter because they usually keep this ring loose and then they just leash in so they can flag out when they come unhooked from the bar. Now there are different options as well for chicken loop, so both brands, they do have a freestyle loop, they do have a smaller loop, and a wave loop, so you do have those different options. Now between the two, there's a lot of other little details that do kind of add up, and I'm going to make a list in the description of this video so you can do a quick comparison of the different features between the bars and get a good feel for what you're getting out of each bar, and just kind of get that visual cue rather than me just running on and talking about all of them, just to keep this video a bit on the shorter side. But on the water, in regards to feel, you know, I would say that the Ocean Rodeo bar has a bit more float to it. It's a bit more plush, really soft on the hands. It's kind of a more simple version of what the click bar has. The click bar, it's just kind of like a more refined, maybe a little more engineered version of this. Kind of the same concept where you're twisting or clicking to depower the kite rather than using a regular trim system. And we've talked about the benefits, how it's kind of nicer for people who don't have a long reach. If you're a rider with shorter arms, both of these bars would be a really good option. So for example, with the click bar, you have that V splitter, which is adjustable, which if you do adjust that, it actually will change the characteristics of your kite. So if you have a higher Y, I believe that usually makes kites more responsive and it lightens up the bar pressure, and I don't know if this is true for every kite. So all those other details aside, in my experience, the biggest difference really was just that with the click bar, you do sometimes get some of that binding when sheeting because of the rectangular coated center lines, and with the stick shift, you don't get that. But you're also getting a more simple bar. It's not quite as refined. It doesn't have as many features So those are kind of the two big considerations aside from just the general look and design. And the click bar has a really nice polished, refined, high-end look. The stick shift, it's not a bad looking bar by any means, but it's definitely a bit more simple. They do have some springs and some things, so it's not quite as streamlined as the click bar. And then from there, just let me know if you have any questions. I'll gladly answer in the comment section, let you know. And if you're trying to decide between the two, you can always also just give the shop a call and chat with the crew there. And yeah, if you guys found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.